Welcome to the GMC 2-axis CNC press brake tutorial videos. In this video we're going to show you how to use the ESA 625 2-axis CNC press brake controller. Today we'll be using the GMC 4-foot 45-ton press brake. When you first turn the controller on, you'll come up to an editor screen. You'll notice in our first viewing of the machine that the RAM is already down. Whenever you're using your press brake and you're done for the day, you're going to shut it off, maybe come back to it later, you need to leave it with the RAM down. The reason why is that when you turn the machine back on, the RAM needs to resize itself. In order to do that, it needs to be already in the down position. On the controller itself, we have a power work light, the master power on switch. We have the work light for the machine itself, and an e-stop. When first turning on the controller, you will see this screen. The general emergency is because the hydraulic motor is not on yet. So to power on this machine for the first time, we're going to go to the hand mode. We're going to take our stylus and go over here to the hand. At the lower right menu, I'm going to hit that once, hit the user manual, and you will see the power on and off buttons come on. Now the machine is on. You'll see it says RAM sizing pressed up. We'll go back to the hand mode over here. Step on the pedal and raise the RAM up. Now you'll see the machine has been sized. At this point we can go and create some programs. Go to the upper left, right over here, and this is our editor program. So if we want to go and start and make a new program, we go to this program list to the upper right. Right down below, it says new. We're going to go back to the editor. We're going to start filling in some of the screens. The wide one is your RAM up and down, and this is where it's currently located. The wide 2 position is a reference number from the bottom of the top of the table, of the die table, to the shoulder of the punch. This helps the machine to recognize its position and give you better accuracy when doing your angle programming. The X1 is your back gauge in and out and its current location. None of these areas right now can be edited. We're going to start over here with material thickness. So we're going to put in something that we've already measured with a caliper for our material thickness. In this case, I'm using a piece of 10 gauge. The next line down, we're going to pick and choose our die. The machine comes with 7 V-ways of assorted dies that you can already use that are already programmed in the machine. So you'll see you have a 1.5 inch, 1.25, a 1 inch, a 3/4, a half, 3/8, and a 1/4. So in this case, what's sitting in the machine right now is the 1 inch, so we'll go over there. The best way to select your V dies is to use a press brake tonnage chart. We have one of those on the side of the machine that helps you to determine which V die is best for your material. You can also go with 8 times material thickness up to 1/4 inch, kind of gives you a good ballpark, but you should still use the press brake tonnage chart to really dial in the numbers. So you're going to select your die and hit insert. The same thing with the punch. Go over to the punch and select your punches. In this particular case, we only have one punch in the machine at the moment, so we're going to select that one punch. Hit insert. Now our punch and our die are selected. Right above here we have material tensile strength. You can get this information off of your material data sheet for what you're purchasing. For mild steel, somewhere between 36 to 44 thousandths would be normal. The next line down below is how many parts we want to make. You just pick the number you want to do, and this would be the parts that are already made. It'll count as it goes. Our next line down we're going to select is our angle. So we're going to put in an angle that we want to make. The next line over is a stroke distance already been pre-programmed by the computer based upon material thickness and the punch and die you've selected. This is the approximate stroke the computer thinks it needs to be at. Anytime you make something for the very first time, you want to do some profiling and just do a 90 degree or whatever you're doing, 120, 130, etc. Bend it, measure the angle, see where it really is, and then you can come back in here and do a correction. So if you bend a piece and it comes out to be 92 degrees and you wanted 90, you can come in here and put a minus number and add 2 degrees. And it will correct the y-axis stroke. The next line over is for your back gauge. You can come over and select the back gauge distance that you want, 2 inches or something along those lines, and that's what you'll have there. On the next screen over, you'll hit the editor one more time. You'll get a second page of the editor. It repeats some of the information up top, angle, stroke distance. It'll give you your angle correction if you entered one in. This X1 right here is a retract. If you have a piece that you want to bend that you need to do a retract on, you can enter in the distance of the retract right here. The line down below is going to be if you want the back gauge to offset to the outside, inside, or no bend radius. So if you select a 0 here and go back to page 1, you'll notice there's now an offset in the back gauge. It's offsetting the back gauge based upon your material thickness to give you the outside bend of the 2 inches. If you go back here and select 2, it'll give you the inside. And you'll see that's changed again. If you go back here and select 1, then it won't give you any at all. All depends on your part. Down here below, the next line is going to ask you for the width of your part. In this particular case, I have a piece that's about 4 inches. Your tensile strength is repeated again. Over to the right column, your TDC is your top dead center. This is the number you want to enter of how far up you want the ram to return after you've made the bend. You can select anywhere from a little bit over the die up to the maximum, which on this machine is about where it is right now. The machine calculates the force. It just tells you based upon what you've entered, how many tons per linear foot do you need to have. In this particular case, this is good to know so that you do not exceed the capacities of the machine. So if you're trying to put in 4 feet 1/4 inch, you'll get a warning that you're exceeding the capacity of the machine. On this particular machine, the force is not being calculated or being controlled by the controller, just merely telling you how much tonnage is needed. There's no crowning on this machine. It's too small to have crowning, but this particular controller could control crowning on a larger machine. The CST you don't have to worry about. The pinch point is if you want to change where the pinch point is if you're doing a retract. The muting position is automatically set by the computer, but if you wanted to come in early, you can do that. You can put in like maybe 0.5, and this is in positions above the of die, half an inch above the die. The bend time is if you want to control from the time it hits the muting point to where it goes into the bend cycle and releases. You can control that timing, and it's all trial and error based upon material thickness, V-die opening, the width of the material you're using, etc. So you'll be doing trial and error to get the ultimate angle of bend for yourself. In this case, you can just set it for 1 second as normal. The match speed and other functions do not apply to this particular press brake at this level of controller, so you don't need them. Once you have all the information, you can go and decide that you like everything that you see, go back and review it again, and if you like everything, or if you want to add another step, you can go down here to this next line to actually, if you want to insert a bend, yes, you can come in here and put in another degree, same thing. You have to go to page 2 again and edit the page 2 for every bend step that you put in. So go through, check it all off. Some things will remain constant. Your inside-outside radius, offset for the back gauge will stay the same throughout the bend. Once you've decided where it needs to be, it'll follow through. You can change your thickness here if you wanted to have something, but you really should leave it the same to be consistent. It'll be the same part all the way through. Tensile strength will be the same. You can set your TDC to a different height. Force might change. You can set your mute time. In case you need to change, then you can. Everything else will be the same. Go back there, go through it again. If you like everything that you've seen, you can go to the semi-automatic mode and you can press start and it will run that program. In the semi-automatic mode, it will not change from step to step unless you manually change it using these arrows down here. In the automatic mode, it will change from step to step using no arrows, by stepping on the pedal, holding the pedal down, and keeping it going the whole time will change through the steps. An example will be like this. You'll now see change into a different step. If you don't want this extra step, you can always go back to the editor and you can delete it. Hit the delete button, it takes it out. If you like this program and you want to save it, you can come over here to the menu right down here below, go to Save As, and you can name it. There you go, hit OK, hit OK. That program's now saved. Back in the editor list, if you want to do that program, you'll see it right here. You select it once, do it again, and it pulls it right back up. Show you that again. You can highlight the program like this, hold it, and it pulls it back up. You can also add punches and dies in the punch and die list over here. If you want to add a new punch, go back over to the menu in the bottom right, select new punch, you can name it. You'll put in some basic elements, the height of the punch, the radius of the tip of the punch. You might get that off of your drawing, and the angle the punch was designed for. Hit OK. Now that punch is in there. If you don't want that punch, you can highlight it again and you can delete it. Same thing with the die. If you want to go and make a new die, highlight down here, go to the menu, select new die, name it. You'll put in the basics, the overall height of the die, the length, which is basically going to be the V opening. The radius, which is the edge. You have to get this information off of your drawing. The radius is the edge of the top of the V. There's like a radius there. You want to put that in. And the angle. Hit OK. Now go on your list. And you'll see that's there. If you don't want that there, just delete it. So once again, call up your program, highlight it, hold it, it pulls it back up. Now if you need to change tools on the machine where you want to rotate a die, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the hand mode. Over here in the hand mode, we're going to use the Y1 to bring our ram down to change the tools. This must always be done in the manual mode. We're going to loosen these hand clamps right here on both sides. Take out this little stop. Do the same thing on both sides. We're going to bring the ram down. Once it's low enough, we're going to take these chains. Oh, need to go a little bit lower. We're going to take these chains, put one on both sides, top and bottom. Step on the pedal. Now the die is up. We can get in there and rotate it, whichever position we want. Once we have the position on the die that we want, we're going to step on the pedal, bring it back down. You're going to have to manually line up the punch and die. Take the chains off. Now what we're going to do is go back to the computer. What we need to do is manually move the Y-axis to get it low enough that the punch comes down all the way and self-centers the die. So in order to move the ram manually, it must always be in the up position first. We're going to go over here, hit the minus button to lower it. The lower the number is, the lower the RAM will go. We're going to come back to the machine. We're going to slowly bring down the punch into the die. You may have to do a little bit of centering. Gradually to step on it down, down, down a little bit until it sits into there. Then we're going to come over here, shake it back and forth, make sure it can't move, it's nice and locked in place. And we're going to put our blocks back in front and back. Tighten those up hand tight. You don't have to overdo it on these, and then put the jam nuts back on. Both sides, left and right. Once that's all done, you can raise the RAM back up. Now you're ready to work and make a new program. You can also move these back and forth from positions, lock them into place. You can unlock here and then raise them up or down with the handle below there. The machine is also equipped with light curtains, left and right side. This will prevent the RAM from coming down if you put your hand there with the light curtains active. When shutting the machine down, when you're done for the day or the hour, or just want to come back later, or you just want to turn the machine off, you must shut the controller down first. In order to do that, go back to the editor, come over here, the lower right menu, hit it once, hit it twice, you'll see the shutdown button. It turns off the motor, the NC is in block. It's now safe to turn off your computer. After that, you can power off the machine with the master power. Thank you for watching the ISA 625 2-axis CNC press brake video. Give us a call at 909-947-7787 if you have additional questions. Thank you.